Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome for the first time. My name is Marcy and you found me here on YouTube. The name of my channel is Creator's Call. Today I'm sharing with you the last of my Christmas journals for the year. I really only had two. This journal is completely different from any that I have made before, any of my style. I just really departed from a lot of my usual things that I like to do. Now, part of that was driven by the artwork. This is a Whitman Big Telltale book from 1965. The artwork is more primitive looking, very bold and bright, but with a lot of earthy tones in it. And so I was trying to capture the feeling of being in a stable, being more homespun, more natural elements. Now, obviously, I don't live in a place or a time where I have all the same things, but I was just really trying to evoke that feeling. And so what I mostly used were crocheted laces, things that were a little more thick or with more texture, some burlap, those kinds of things. I don't have a lot of stamping in here, which again is a departure from my usual. However, what I did do was include some of my pieces from this digital. It's called Winter Wishes, and you can find it in my Ko-fi shop, which is linked below. I created this last year as part of a collaboration, and so I still, obviously, because I made that, I can share it and keep using it. Some of these pieces have more of a faith element to them, and so I just like the colors of this whole thing. It's just something a little bit different than what I usually use. These are all vintage cards, postcards, and other little pieces that are in my stash. I think they added something very special and unique to this journal. I did do some charms that are hanging off the ends, quite a few, which is a lot for me. And what else did I do that was different? It's one ginormous signature, as you can see. So it's different all the way around. And I'm going to be tying it up with this closure, which is just a woven piece, came off of a bedspread I purchased. So anyway, I think that also adds a nice look to it. Today we're going to dispense with the usual intro, and the reason for that is because sometime in the last week, my royalty-free, copyright-free music that I've been using for the last 2 years has now got a copyright on it, and I got notice in the last video from Wednesday. And so before I can do anything about that, that means I have to like recreate my whole intro video, my whole 9-second thing, and I just don't have time for that right now, and I have to go find a different music. And so it's kind of a surprise. It was a bad surprise I got this morning when I saw that. Now, it doesn't like affect me negatively as far as YouTube saying, oh, you can't show this video, we're going to take it down. What it means is I can't monetize the video because they're saying that any royalties should go to the owner of that song. And frankly, this has happened to me before when I've gone out and picked free music, either from Apple or from YouTube or wherever online. They decide to come back and monetize it, which is their right, but it would be nice if they didn't try to apply that to all of their backlog of work that they were offering for free, because it's messed up a few of my videos now where I've tried to correct that. So anyway, we're not going to have an intro today, the little blurb there, the bump, and we're also going to try to be a lot quicker. In the last video, you guys were very kind and answered my question about flip-throughs, and so the consensus is a little explanation, but not too much. So that's what I'm going to try to do. So I'm already 4 minutes into the video, so let's get moving. Now, this cover I actually started working on last Christmas. I never got this journal finished. I ran out of time and energy, and so it just sat here and waited till this year. It has, I think it was a 2.5-inch spine. I have explained some of this in a prior video. If you go into my playlist, the Christmas 2023, you can watch where I have worked on this some and where I did some more explanation about the book that I used. I kept the fly pages intact because of the artwork. It was so pretty, I didn't want to cover it up. There is some stenciling throughout here. Like I said, very little stamping, used my digitals, and just trying to get a rough homespun feeling. This pocket here has a booklet. It's one of those that sometimes you get in the mail as a Christmas card. Very cool. So that's just stuffed into there. And I just hope that you guys enjoy this as much as I do. It's just so different from what I usually try to do. In one of my earlier videos, I also talked about the book pages and things I was using and papers, so be sure to go back and check the whole Christmas 2023 playlist. I did do some stenciling, can't remember, I know I just said that, but I can't remember how much of it I showed you on in prior videos because it's been a few weeks. I also have some tags and things made from harvested Christmas cards, and you can catch that from last year where I showed you how I did that on my Christmas series. And I know that we worked on this pocket together on camera. So I just tucked a few things in there. This is one of my favorite pieces. This little book that I used pages from, it was apparently given to somebody, or this lady had given them as gifts to probably a class, like I'm guessing maybe Sunday school class. And so she had put these little notes in the front, and I love the sweet note. And so it's like a note from me to you, or from her to you, expressing her hopes for your having a happy and blessed holiday season. And I left it in because I just thought it was sweet. This piece I talked about earlier. This is a die cut from Celeste at Woodland Inspired, and she has those in her shop. And I backed it with a book page image, so it looks like we're peeking through the window at Mary and Joseph and baby Jesus. This pocket here we did in an earlier video in the series. This is a digital from Mrs. Cog. This is a flashcard that I made myself, and then I decided to punch it into a tag shape for this journal card. So I like that. I've not ever done that before. And then this is one of my digitals from the Winter Wishes set. And I just really like the whole look. It's so different from your typical Christmas book. Love the artwork. Some of these pieces here have more like fiber homespun look to them. This one is strips of cloth. One of the earlier ones was macrame pieces. This is a giant snowflake I stenciled on the back of the page. This was hand stamped by me at one point. And then I have a few spots with these stickers. These came out of an old like stationery or card set, and I liked how they just added to this. I tried not to do too much glitzy, glamorous stuff because I just thought shiny and bright and sparkly was not the way I wanted to go in this journal. Very much a departure from my typical Christmas journals. This is a journal card that made by me. The entire set is in here. I hand stamped these quite a while ago and have included some of them in this journal. And then you saw us make these twisty tags on camera at one point a few weeks back, so go back and catch that one too. Love this Christmas card, and I did do some sewing around the edge. I may have talked about that in a prior video, I can't remember. I like the darker colors of the papers. I like the broad, bold brush strokes of the artwork. You saw us work on this. Here's the center. I had, when I first got going this morning on sewing this together, I didn't sew it in upside down. This was good. What I did do was I sewed the entire signature together and didn't bind it into the cover, which was just so silly. But anyway, I had to go back and redo. Okay, you saw us kind of work on this. I've just got it paper clipped here with a pretty little gold clip. There's a few of these, and they have a little heart decoration on them. I got a few of those in here. Another one of those cute little charms. The charms, I have Mary, Joseph, baby Jesus, the star, a shepherd, and a wise man. So it's kind of got all of the main characters represented. This was wet, so I had this in there so it wouldn't stick. But I made this cute little cluster just from a couple of scraps and a leftover postage stamp. I mentioned last time I like to take postage stamps when they come in the mail, and I like to jazz them up with a little extra glitter and turn them into embellishments, so that's fun. Here's a pocket. We made these pockets last year together. In here is one of my digitals. And I just left them plain on the back. You could stamp lines, you could add a sentiment, you could do whatever you want. This is another Mrs. Cog one, and I just trimmed it down to fit in this pocket. And then these are also from Mrs. Cog's, one of her Christmas kits. Now she's got several, and I was just listening to one of my videos from last year where I named them, and now I don't remember what they were. So anyway, go to Mrs. Cog's Crafts on Etsy and look in her Christmas digitals, and you'll find a lot of fun things to use. Now this one, this is a Christmas card, a vintage one. I went ahead, I think you saw me try to figure out where to place that on camera. I made a ginormous, odd-sized journal card from a different children's book page. And then I've added a charm here. This is the star, and there's Bethlehem. And then to this side, I just clipped this postcard. It's very thick. I love it. And then this is another of Mrs. Cog's printables. And a different gold paper clip because it was a little bit longer. Vintage Denison label. Now in this one, I like how this turned out. So I think this was the last of my cards like this that I have. Oops, glaring, sorry. So I cut the back part off of it and just made a pocket from the front half of it. And then this is a just an index card that I embellished with some scraps. We're sliding that in there. And then also from my printable set, although you've seen me use the originals of these cards, but I like that it's another angel, so it's kind of like the angels. And the angels are looking over baby Jesus, and then this printable from Mrs. Cog has the shepherds as well, and there's Mary. So when we put it all together, it just looks like everyone is adoring the Christ child here. And I know this says please come. It was a vintage invitation, party invitation. But I also view it, maybe you could pretend as well, that it is inviting you to come and adore the Christ child. Please come to the manger. Please come to the cradle, and please come and worship him. So I could have trimmed that off, but I didn't. So there we have everyone grouped around the manger. And then on this page, I made this into a flip out. I know I talked about it. And then I have a piece that's from a Christmas devotional book tucked back there, one of these calico collage printables that I keep talking about. And then these are from my set. My Winter Wishes is what it's called. Winter Wishes Digital. Let's see, I think, yep, you were up there. These are from the 30s. These were things that my husband's aunt had, aunts and uncle, his family had. This is just a gift tag. Love that it says Miracle. And then this is something I played around with a long time ago. I tried enlarging a really old Bible of his grandma's from the Nativity Story, and then I tried coffee dyeing it, but it made all the ink run. And then I stamped over it with one of my Nativity stamps, and they have a really interesting look. So I do like how they turned out. So there's one in here, and then this is just cut out from a book page, and I embellished with that. This was from an old Christmas card. I just think it's gorgeous. Trying not to get the glare, and I love what it says on there. And then there were a couple spots here where the story flowed and the picture, so I didn't insert anything between it because it was so pretty all on its own. This one, I just inserted an old vintage Christmas song. It's not one of our more well-known ones, but it is Christmas Cradle Hymn. And here's Mary with baby Jesus, so I thought that was appropriate. So that's in the pocket there. This is something I stamped. Oops, I keep bumping it and getting it all wrinkled when I tuck it in here, but that just slides in there. Another Mrs. Cog. This was, I think, called Christmas Nativity. I can't remember for sure. But this is another pocket we made online earlier. And then an actual vintage Christmas stamp from 1961. And then in this page, here's another. This is just one part of a music sheet, but I just thought it was nice to add to this pocket, so you can do whatever you want with it. These I keep using in all of my Christmas journals. I love them, and so I backed it, turned it into a journal card, and stamped Shalom. And then another Christmas Carol from Calico Collage Digitals. And then here's a picture of Bethlehem. Maybe it looked like that way back when. These are shepherds. I think off camera, I went and inked all of this. I don't remember if I talked about it or not, but a lot of these pages I went and inked, and I used more than one color. I used 2 and 3 colors just to give it some depth and interest on the pages. So a lot of these pages are inked up. Here's a Christmas card on the inside. I did do some stenciling. I've tucked a couple of tags I've made. And here, this is another one of these that I printed Grandma Harrison's Bible on cardstock, and then I just punched tag shapes with it. This is a really old Bible that she was gifted by my husband's grandpa. And then a current postcard from Current Ink, so from the 70s, I think. If you have any questions about where I found the items or what was used that I'm not pointing out, please ask down below in the comment section, and I'm happy to answer them for you. Last and final vintage Christmas card. I think I talked about doing this, but here's, I made a tab out of the burlap. Now, in order to make it stick really well and to give it some stiffness, I backed the burlap onto a piece of paper, and then I sewed it all together before I folded it and glued it. But it's so that you can pull this up, and then you have all this space to write. So lots and lots of secret journaling space on this one. And there it is. It's just so pretty. And then behind here are the rest of these nativity cards that I had made. And another one of these, it's from a calendar with a Christmas scripture. Oops. And then this pocket also has another page from this devotional book. They were just little booklets. I was lucky enough to find 2 in thrift stores a while ago, and now I've used up all the pages, I think, so I really hope I find some more. And this is the last one of that set, but they're all in this journal, so there are 5 of them, I believe, all together. And here we are at the end. And there's my little handmade seal that I add to all of my journals. Today, Idaho is not reclining. It is definitely straight up and down the way it should be. So I hope you guys like this. This will be listed in my Ko-fi shop. So please go to Ko-fi if you're looking for this. Please go to Ko-fi if you're looking for these digitals. And I should mention that the way Ko-fi works, when you go and you're looking at different items in there, sometimes you might see it say, you know, the price and then with a plus symbol afterward. And the reason for that is because when it has a plus symbol, you have the option of donating more. So if you want to support the artist and give a little bit extra, you can, or you can just pay the asking price. Either way, it does also kind of give me an idea of what do people value my work at, so that I'm not overpriced or underpriced. It's just a really nice thing that Ko-fi does. You'll see some of my items in there have the price and then a plus sign after them, and then some of them are just the plus sign. And then I also have the membership tiers where if you wanted to support on a monthly basis, you can do that, and then you get additional freebies and some videos and things. So far, I only have one video uploaded to that site, but I will be working on some more. I did want to add really quick that on this piece, so it doesn't fray anymore, I'm going to go ahead and just run it through my sewing machine and just run a zigzag along here so that this doesn't continue to fray. But I do like how that pulls everything together on this journal. So that is the story of Christmas. Hope you guys will go over and check it out. I appreciate you all supporting me and being my friends here on YouTube. It's really been a lot of fun. We're coming up on almost 4 years in January, so that's pretty exciting too. Okay, hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, and I hope you enjoyed my additional video this week. next week I'm coming back with a collab I'm doing with my friend Laura over at Laura Craftwell with Art. And she has had something on her heart and mind for a while and asked me to do a collaboration with her. And so we're going to be sharing that next week on Wednesday the 8th. It's also the day of my husband's shoulder surgery, so everyone, please think of me, and if you offer up a prayer for me to have patience, that would be great, but that his surgery will go well and guide the doctor's hands, and that he will have a good outcome and a quick and speedy recovery. I would appreciate it. So until next week, my friends, be inspired, do something creative today, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye-bye now.